Welcome back to the channel and Treasure Hunter. Today we're diving into the world of big money coins, and you might be surprised by what we're talking about: the Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin from the United States of America. That's right. Some Jefferson Nickels are worth way more than just 5 cents. In this video, I'll show you the most valuable Jefferson Nickel coins, including rare dates, errors, and high-value examples that collectors are hunting for right now. So grab your coins, sit back, and let's find out if you're holding a hidden treasure. Let's get started. First up, the Jefferson Nickel 5 cents coin, dated 1976, with a P mint mark, produced by the United States of America, and this script is designed as a calm educational narration that could comfortably stretch to a long listening session while you relax, learn, and reflect on American coinage history and the everyday objects that quietly pass through millions of hands while carrying stories of politics, art, metal, economics, and culture. And the Jefferson Nickel is one of the longest-running designs in American numismatics, introduced during the Great Depression and still circulating decades later, and the 1976 issue sits in a particularly interesting time period marked by the bicentennial-era patriotic reflection and large-scale mint production. And while the nickel itself did not carry a special bicentennial reverse, it was still part of the economic bloodstream of that celebratory year, and collectors today often look back at these coins as tangible pieces of lived history rather than rare treasures. And this video script is intentionally slow, descriptive, and thoughtful, meant to be read aloud with pauses and emphasis to allow the listener to truly absorb the background, significance, and value discussion of this specific coin in fine condition. The Jefferson Nickel design was created by Felix Schlag and first released in 1938, replacing the Buffalo nickel, and the obverse features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States of America and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, and on the reverse, Monticello Jefferson's Virginia home is shown with careful architectural detail and Latin mottos that speak to national ideals. And by 1976, this design had already been in use for nearly 4 decades, making it extremely familiar to the American public, and the 1976 P mint mark indicates that the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which by that era was using a P mint mark on nickels, something that did not appear on earlier Jefferson Nickels, and the Philadelphia Mint was responsible for a very large share of circulating coinage, meaning many millions of these coins were produced and released into everyday commerce. In terms of metal composition, the 1976 Jefferson Nickel is made of a copper-nickel alloy consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel, and this composition has been standard for the denomination since the end of World War II, and the intrinsic metal value of the coin is relatively low and generally below its face value of 5 cents, which means its worth to collectors is primarily based on condition, demand, and historical interest, rather than melt value and the fine condition classification refers to a coin that shows moderate, even wear across the high points of the design, but still retains clear major details such as Jefferson's hair outline, facial features, and the structure of Monticello, including steps and columns, though softened by circulation. And fine condition coins are honest working coins that spent years in pockets, registers, and jars. When discussing value, it is important to understand that a 1976 P Jefferson Nickel in fine condition is considered a common date, common mint issue, and as a result its market value is typically modest, and in most cases such a coin is worth approximately its face value or slightly above, depending on collector interest and local market conditions. And in numerical terms, many price guides suggest a range of 5 to 10 cents for a circulated example in fine condition, and sometimes a bit more if sold as part of a larger date set or album. And this means the coin is not a financial investment in the traditional sense, but rather a historical artifact and a sentimental or educational piece that connects people to the past and to the everyday economy of the 1970s. The year 1976 itself carries emotional and cultural weight because it marked the 200th anniversary of American independence, and while quarters, half dollars, and dollar coins received special bicentennial designs, the Jefferson Nickel continued unchanged, serving as a quiet constant during a year of national celebration. And that contrast makes the 1976 nickel interesting to some collectors, because it represents continuity, stability, and routine during a time of symbolic reflection. And many people alive at that time remember the economic challenges of inflation, fuel shortages, and social change, and the coins in circulation during those years often evoke personal memories, making even common nickels meaningful to those who lived through the era. Collectors who seek out a 1976p Jefferson nickel in fine condition are often completing date and mint mark sets rather than chasing rarity, and album collectors appreciate coins that show natural circulation where without damage, corrosion, or harsh cleaning, and originality is valued, meaning the coin should have a natural gray tone rather than an unnaturally bright surface, and while fine condition is not considered high grade, it is still desirable for collectors who want an affordable, representative example of each year and mint, and this accessibility is part of what makes Jefferson Nickels such a popular entry point into numismatics for beginners, families, and young collectors learning about history through coins. From a grading perspective, fine condition typically falls around a numerical grade of 12 on the Sheldon scale, and at this level the overall design is complete but flat in areas, with legends and dates fully readable and rims mostly intact, and the Monticello steps may be visible but not sharply defined, and no major damage such as holes, bends, or heavy scratches should be present for the coin to be considered collectible even at this modest level, and understanding grading helps viewers appreciate why condition has such a strong impact on value, and why two coins of the same year and mint can be worth very different amounts. When buying or selling a 1976p Jefferson nickel, it is wise to manage expectations and to view the coin as part of a broader collecting journey rather than a standalone treasure, and these coins are often found in circulation, old collections, estate accumulations, and inherited jars, and they are commonly sold in bulk rolls or mixed lots, and while individual sale profits are minimal, the joy often comes from discovery, organization, and learning, and many collectors enjoy building complete Jefferson nickel sets spanning decades, which creates a sense of accomplishment and historical continuity that far outweighs the small monetary value of each coin. The Philadelphia Mint itself has a long and storied history dating back to 1892, and it has played a central role in producing circulating coinage for the nation, and by the 1970s the mint was operating at massive scale using modern machinery to strike coins efficiently and consistently, and the addition of the P Mint mark on nickels helped collectors differentiate issues and track production sources, and this small letter adds an extra layer of interest and educational value for those studying mint practices and distribution patterns across the United States of America. In conclusion, the Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin, dated 1976, with a P mint mark in fine condition, is a humble yet meaningful piece of American numismatic history, and while its financial value is generally limited to face value or slightly above its real worth, lies in its connection to everyday life, national history, and the shared experience of using money as a tool of commerce and memory. And this long-form script is meant to encourage viewers to slow down, look closely at the coins they may overlook, and next up, the Jefferson Nickel 5-cent coin, dated 1978, without mint mark, from the United States of America, and this script is designed to last about 40 minutes when read slowly and clearly with educational pauses and visual cutaways, and the goal is to give viewers a deep, calm, and confident understanding of what this coin is, why it exists, how it fits into American history, and what its realistic value and worth are today, especially in fine condition, and this is not hype or fantasy but grounded collector knowledge explained in simple language for beginners and long-time viewers alike. The Jefferson nickel was first introduced in the year 1938 as a replacement for the Buffalo nickel, and it features Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States of America, on the front, and his famous home Monticello on the back, and by the time the year 1978 arrived, the design had already been in use for 4 decades, making it one of the most familiar coins in American pockets, and the 1978 issue without a mint mark means the coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks on nickels at that time. The metal composition of the 1978 Jefferson nickel is 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin its durable silver-gray appearance, and a weight of 5 grams and a diameter of 21.21 millimeters, though collectors usually care more about condition than exact measurements, and when we say fine condition we are talking about a circulated coin that still shows clear details such as Jefferson hair outline, readable lettering, and a visible Monticello building, though somewhere is present from everyday use. A 1978 Jefferson nickel without mint mark in fine condition is extremely common because hundreds of millions were produced and released into circulation, and because of that the coin does not carry high monetary value in the collector market, and its worth is generally close to face value, meaning 5 cents to perhaps 10 or 20 cents depending on demand and presentation, and while this may sound disappointing to some new collectors, it is actually an important lesson in understanding how rarity and condition drive value, not age alone. Despite the low financial value, the 1978 Jefferson Nickel still holds strong educational and historical interest because it represents late 20th century American coinage during a time of economic change, inflation concerns, and growing interest in collecting, and many people alive today remember using this exact coin in vending machines, parking meters, and everyday transactions, making it a powerful symbol of daily life in the United States of America during that era. For viewers and subscribers, this coin is perfect as a teaching example because it allows new collectors to learn grading basics, mint identification, and realistic value expectations without financial risk, and channels that focus on coin education often use common coins like this to build trust with their audience, showing honesty instead of exaggeration, and explaining that not every old coin is rare or valuable, but every coin has a story worth telling. When presenting this coin in a video, it is helpful to show close-up shots of the obverse and reverse, rotating the coin slowly under soft light, and pointing out areas of wear such as the cheekbone steps of Monticello and rim lettering, and explaining how these features help determine the fine grade. And this slow visual approach helps viewers train their eyes and builds long-term engagement and subscriber loyalty. In terms of storage and care, a 1978 Jefferson Nickel in fine condition does not require expensive holders, but should still be kept dry and clean and not polished, because cleaning reduces collector appeal. Even for common coins, and simple coin flips or small envelopes labeled with date, mint, and condition are more than sufficient, and this practical advice is valuable content that keeps viewers watching and subscribing. From a long-term perspective, this coin is unlikely to see dramatic increases in value unless there are major changes in metal prices or collector trends, but it will always remain a foundational piece for anyone building a Jefferson Nickel set by date and mint, and completing such a set brings satisfaction, knowledge, and a deeper connection to American history, which is often the true reward of coin collecting. To conclude this extended script, the 1978 Jefferson Nickel without mint mark in fine condition is worth only a small amount of money, but a great deal of learning, and it serves as an honest entry point into numismatics, teaching patience, realism, and appreciation rather than speculation. And for channels, it is ideal long-form content that educates viewers, builds credibility, encourages subscriptions, and reminds everyone that even the most ordinary coin can tell an extraordinary story when you take the time to look closely. Next up, the Jefferson Nickel 5 cents coin, dated 1979, without mint mark, from the United States of America, and this video is designed as a deep educational journey for collectors, beginners, investors, and history lovers who want to understand every detail about this coin, from its background to its value, and why it still matters today. And as you listen, imagine holding a fresh, uncirculated coin with sharp edges, bright surfaces, and original mint luster, and we begin by understanding that the Jefferson Nickel is one of the longest-running coin designs in American coinage history, first issued in 1938 and still produced today, and the 1979 issue belongs to the modern era of circulating coinage, where large numbers were made, but condition, rarity, and collector demand can still create interest and value, and the 5 cents denomination has always played a role in daily commerce, making this coin familiar yet often overlooked, which is why detailed knowledge can turn a common object into a meaningful collectible. The 1979 Jefferson Nickel without mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which traditionally did not use mint marks on nickels during that time, and this absence of a mint mark is normal and not an error. And in 1979, the Philadelphia Mint produced hundreds of millions of nickels to meet circulation demand, and these coins were composed of 75% copper and 25% nickel, giving the coin its durable nature and distinctive silvery appearance. And the obverse features a left-facing portrait of Thomas Jefferson designed by Felix Schlag with the word Liberty and the year 1979, while the reverse displays Monticello Jefferson's Virginia home with the words E pluribus unum and 5 cents and United States of America. And even though this design had been used for decades, small changes in strike quality, surface preservation, and die condition can influence collector interest. Uncirculated condition is the key focus for value when discussing the 1979 Jefferson Nickel, because circulated examples are extremely common and typically worth only face value, while uncirculated coins are those that never entered circulation and retain full mint luster, sharp detail, and no wear on the high points, and collectors often refer to mint state grades, which range from 60 to 70, with higher numbers representing better preservation, and a 1979 Jefferson Nickel graded mint state 63 or 64 may show strong luster with minor bag marks, while higher grades like 66 or 67 are much scarcer and command greater premiums, and coins at these levels often appear almost flawless to the naked eye and are usually preserved in rolls, mint sets, or protective holders. When it comes to value, the 1979 Jefferson nickel without mint mark in uncirculated condition usually ranges from a modest premium to a more desirable collectible depending on grade and eye appeal, and typical uncirculated examples might be worth a small multiple of face value, while higher grade certified coins can be worth several dollars or more, especially if they display exceptional strike quality and clean surfaces. And coins graded at the top of the scale are scarce due to the mass production methods of the era, which often resulted in contact marks during storage and transport, and this makes high-grade survivors more appealing to serious collectors and registry set builders who compete for the finest known examples of each date. Errors and varieties are another area collectors often ask about, and while the standard 1979 Jefferson nickel without mint mark is not rare, there are occasional off-center strikes, weak strikes, or die cracks that can add interest and value, and these must be evaluated carefully to distinguish true mint errors from post-mint damage, and professional grading services are often recommended for authentication and preservation. And it is also important to note that proof versions of the 1979 Jefferson Nickel were produced at the San Francisco Mint with mirror-like surfaces, but these always carry a mint mark and are not the same as the Philadelphia circulation strikes discussed in this video. From a historical perspective, the late 1970s were a time of economic change in the United States of America, with inflation rising and metal prices fluctuating, and yet the composition of the Jefferson nickel remained unchanged, unlike other denominations that experienced material shifts, and this stability has made nickels a consistent and reliable part of American coinage. And the 1979 issue represents a snapshot of everyday life at the time when these coins passed through countless hands in stores, vending machines, and pockets, and uncirculated examples preserved from that era now serve as small time capsules connecting modern collectors to the past. For collectors, building date and mint sets, the 1979 Jefferson nickel without mint mark is an essential piece, and while it may not be the most expensive coin in the series, it plays a role in completing a historical lineup, and many collectors enjoy searching rolls or mint sets for the best examples and upgrading their coins over time, and this process adds enjoyment and education to the hobby and teaches careful observation, patience, and appreciation for subtle differences in quality and strike. And even common coins can become special when chosen with care and knowledge. Storage and preservation are crucial for maintaining the uncirculated condition of a 1979 Jefferson nickel, and exposure to air, moisture, and handling can quickly diminish luster and cause spotting or toning, and collectors are advised to store coins in inert holders, albums, or slabs, and to handle them only by the edges, and proper care ensures that the coin retains its visual appeal and potential value for decades. And many collectors take pride in preserving coins not just for themselves but for future generations who may inherit these small pieces of history. When buying or selling a 1979 Jefferson nickel without mint mark, it is important to research current market trends and compare prices from reputable dealers. Auction results and grading services and values can fluctuate based on demand and overall interest in modern coinage, and while this coin is not typically considered a high investment piece, it can still be part of a diversified collection and a gateway into the broader world of numismatics and learning about grading, minting history, and market behavior through coins like this builds a strong foundation for collectors of all levels. As we conclude this extended exploration, remember that the true value of the 1979 Jefferson nickel in uncirculated condition lies not only in its monetary worth, but in its educational and historical significance, and by understanding its origin, design, condition, and place within American coinage, you gain a deeper appreciation for a coin that many overlook. And whether you are creating a 40-minute video teaching others or quietly building your own collection, this knowledge transforms a simple 5-cent coin into a meaningful artifact, and with careful study and passion, even the most common coins can tell powerful stories from the United States of America. Thanks for watching.